All right, hit it. So this is quite the interesting development. I'm sure everyone will handle this news with some calmness.
Oh, of course.
According to Rivals this morning, 2 weeks from signing day, Nebraska has had another decommit. They just had a lineman from the New Orleans area. He decommitted. He is headed to Mississippi State. Dayton Riola has decommitted from Nebraska, according to Chad Simmons of Rivals. Interesting development. Rhule was at his high school game the other night when he was out on the road recruiting. So he went and saw, because Buford, Georgia they are steamrolling towards winning a state championship. So everybody take a deep breath here and let's discuss this. One, Dayton is the lowest rated recruit in this class, which now is down to 9. I think he is better than some give him credit for. He's in the shadow of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Taylor is coming in 27. His older brother is currently out for the year with a broken leg. And there is a backup quarterback who is about to start his second game and seems to be very, very popular. Then there is the Unk that is the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing all these out there, but I wonder this. And again, I think Dayton is better than people have given him credit for, but he had no big offers.
Yeah.
Nebraska was his offer, and he came here because of his brother. And Trey Taylor's coming in 27, and TJ Lateef is already here. So I'm thinking that this may not be connected to anything that Dylan does. It may be connected to, is Dayton going to be able to play sooner than later at the University of Nebraska if Lateef is the heir apparent and Trey Taylor is coming, and it's been let known, and somebody said, we got an offer for you 2 weeks from signing day. That's just my initial read on this.
Yeah.
Because I could go all crazy and go, well, there you go.
Sure.
Hey, goodbye, Riolas. I'm just doing it from Dayton's perspective, looking at his future on wanting to play sooner than later, but kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
We had, you know what? We had some normalcy around here for like 7-8 days.
Yeah.
Now we have a decommit.
Well,
Dayton Raiola.
So you and I were having a conversation about the health of the quarterback room after the UCLA game. And I remember a comment in our chat room, in our YouTube chat room. They were like,
he's come around.
They were like, Matt.
Let's get there now and read them.
They're like, Matt, you didn't mention Dayton. They're like, why didn't you bring up Dayton? Yeah. And it's simply just because, guys, he was sandwiched in between a bunch of better prospects, and the timeline never really made sense for him to play. Like he was going to have to take major steps in his development if he was ever going to be a guy that you could see as a hey, he beat out TJ Lateef to be the starter, or he beat out Trey Taylor to be the starter. And so from that just kind of like logical, I want to play football perspective, yeah, it makes a lot of sense that he decommits and he goes somewhere else. And also in this era of you could go somewhere smaller, get your tape there, and then transfer to a Power 5 program. Yeah. Now from the family perspective, I mean, it's an incredibly interesting story just based off of all of the other things that are happening around Dylan Raiola and just the Raiola family in general in terms of the injury and Lateef playing well and Taylor coming in 2027 and then the offense. Like there's something to be had there maybe, but from a logical perspective, it makes a ton of sense.
I think this is a business decision. I think if you're Dayton and, your brother would be here next year. So you'd have that where everybody would be talking about you. You want to play. Lateef is here. Lateef and I'm starting to vibe with both quarterbacks are coming back.
That's great.
So whoever it is, your starting quarterback is on campus right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your starting quarterback in the opening game next year is on campus right now. And then you keep laughing at me when I tell you that Trey Taylor is the best quarterback that Matt Rhule has ever recruited. He's not coming to sit for 2 years. So if you're making a business decision about I want to play sooner than later, there probably is a school, as you have gone through your year at Buford and you're putting up big numbers and they're winning, a school that is not on the Power 4 level for you. You could come in and probably play right away. I think it's a smart business decision by the family in regards to Dayton. I'm not going to overreact and say it's tied to Dylan and Donnie. I'm going to say this is about Dayton and what the quarterback room could look like, because let's also say, you're going to lose one because he's out of eligibility. Davila got brought up yesterday.
Yeah.
Is he going to stick around? Now, if he does, there's your 3 quarterbacks for next year. I mean, because if he transfers, that's 3 schools in 3 years. So I think this is my initial reaction is this is a Dayton specific thing, looking at the quarterback room with older brother TJ Lateef and Trey Taylor coming.
If everything went perfectly, Dayton Raiola would have never started a game at Nebraska. Like if everything broke the way that you would hope it would break, he would never have played, because you would have. To me, the perfect timeline is Dylan plays next year. Dylan goes to the NFL. TJ plays the following year. Mm-hmm. TJ goes to the NFL probably, and then his sophomore year, Trey Taylor is the quarterback. Like that is kind of the perfect progression of talented quarterback, super talented quarterback, like 4-star to 5-star guys, just in progression. Dayton's not included in it.
He's it's we've had this discussion about his rankings. And again, I think he's better than people let on. If you watch him play,
I agree.
I'm always kind of attracted to the Jim Zorns of the world, the left-handed quarterbacks. It's a wise decision. It's a wise decision for, I think, Dayton in looking at his future. But again, they've made the quarterback room a priority. That's why. Okay, the Riolas run the world here in Nebraska. They do. You're right. They impact decision making, and they impact the emotional tank of the head football coach. Is big game Saturday night. Everybody has interest in it because it's Nebraska football. Let's have some honesty here. A little bit more jacked because Lateef's playing. Because there's the mystery of Lateef and what he can do. Like if Dylan was playing, you'd still be interested and you'd still be like fired up because it's the 11th game of 12. But Lateef gives it a different intrigue because of what he does and what he did, and now he's playing a better team. But the one thing it doesn't give you, and this is a credit to Nebraska, post Purdy, Sims, Harburg, is they prioritize the quarterback room. So instead of dread with a backup quarterback for the second straight game, you're like, ooh,
yeah,
all right, I'm going to inch closer to my 75-inch TV in 4K to watch instead of I'll sit back here and watch Dylan and still like have interest.
Sure.
But I'm going to be like, ooh, that's the Lateef guy who always looks like he's high.
He doesn't always look like he's high. He's just from California. They kind of come out the box like that.
Dude.
My buddy Kevin is the exact same way. He just always looked like he's a little daisy.
Now, I stole that line from a friend of mine, Steve, who, when he saw Lateef post game, he was like, "Is that kid high?" And I'm like, "No, he's not." He goes, "Just kind of looks like that." I'm like, "Who cares? As long as he wins."
Well, if he is high and he's playing good quarterback, it
helps with the pain.
Well, I got a quick question for you. No, I do because I am honestly intrigued. I can't act.
He's a chill guy.
This is because I don't know this. Okay,
all quarterbacks should be chill.
Well, a little to a certain degree. I don't know if they didn't recruit another quarterback because they were like, hey, we're sticking by Dayton and we want to do right by Dayton. Or I don't know if they didn't recruit another quarterback in 2027 or 2026 because they were like, either way, like we're going to have a good progression of Dylan to TJ to go ahead and go to Trey Taylor.
I think they take a quarterback every year, and they got the quarterback way early. Dayton has been committed for a long time. I think they probably also had some potential prospects that weren't interested in Nebraska because Nebraska had their quarterback. Like Dayton has been committed
for a long time
before his junior year.
I think so. And he's the 99th quarterback ranked on like Rivals, right? He's the 1600th overall player, like according to this site. Like it's not as if he's a 3-star. And you're right, he's athletic and he's big and he can run. And I think if he goes to a group of 5, like and develops and gets his completion percentage up, he could be a potentially good quarterback in that level and see where he progresses. But like it seemed like they kind of were like, all right, we're not going to, I don't know if they weren't recruiting a higher prospect because they were honoring it by him, or if they were like, we're set with the quarterback position. We don't need a top dude. But would you go out and would you recruit another high school quarterback right now?
No,
you wouldn't.
No, I would work to make sure that both guys that are here stay.
Well, I think that goes without saying, but I
think it's too late in the process because you have probably shut the door on a lot of high school kids.
But well, that's probably true. Like I think it'd be very hard for them to go out and get I don't think they'd. If they were to go out and get a high school quarterback at this point, they're not getting a blue chip guy.
Yeah, they would get a 3-star. This would be if you were going to add a quarterback, and they're probably going to need to.
They will. Now.
They will probably get a mid-range portal guy, with the understanding that the starting quarterback for 1 year or 2 more years or 3 more years is already on campus. And there's another guy coming in the next go around. The one thing it'll do now with this decommit, and you're at 9, has anybody in the history of the 14 playoff to the 12-team playoff ever made the playoff in the same year that the recruiting class is the worst in their respective conference?
Oh, great question.
Because Nebraska's probably going to be, they're 17th now. Could they be 18th?
No way. I don't have to go back through the history of all that stuff and tell you that that's never happened. That's never happened.
So Rhule was he was at his high school game the other night. Now Dayton Raiola in the class of 26, which signs here in a couple of weeks, has decommitted. There's no media availability today either in Lincoln. Nope. All right. Here is BJ on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, BJ.
Hey, good morning, Gary, Matt. Hey, I think this injury to Riola has thrown a wrench in some of their plans, is what I think is going on. Because
Nebraska's or the family?
Nebraska's. I apologize.
Okay.
And maybe both. What I'm getting at is I think Rhule's game plan was always, okay, Riola's going to be here probably 4 years, and then when Trey Taylor's here, his second year as a sophomore, assuming he doesn't redshirt, he'll take over the reins. Well, now you have this situation with TJ Lateef, and the fans are kind of like excited. He's got some energy, some electricity to him. They're excited about it. But, okay, I think he's a little bit worried. Number one, how does Dylan feel about the success, the first game success of starting of TJ? And then secondly, is Trey Taylor a little bit like, wow, I was supposed to, take over from Dylan and go, slide right into that starting position. Is TJ Lateef going to be interfering in the middle of that? And I think Rhule is trying to finesse this. You see it in the media, like every time he has a press conference, he, makes a speech about Dylan Raiola as if he's dying of pancreatic cancer. I mean, he broke a bone playing football. It's kind of ridiculous. And I don't know what's going on, but that's where his messaging just throws me off sometimes.
Well, there's, this
like the Zen master.
Well, I think there is so much emotional attachment to Dylan.
Yeah.
That, Rhule gets a little quirky when he talks about Dylan. That now it's become, you can't talk about Lateef without talking about Dylan. I
know, man.
I think that's, that's a Rhule thing. And, I don't know the whole relationship, but it definitely is a relationship that they talk about a lot, and Rhule brings him up.
Healthy? Is that healthy to have a coach-player relationship like that? It's very odd.
Yes. If the respective coach can handle it with his team as well, and it doesn't appear that he's playing favorites, I don't know. I don't. Those two may have had some deep talks. I don't know what things that are going on, so we don't know that. But let's talk about Latif. But when we talk about Latif, it seems like we got to bring up Dylan. And I'm sure Dylan is helpful, and Dylan is, he'd love to be out there. But yeah, it's just, that's why I said before UCLA, you know what, Dana and Rhule might be a little bit looser because we got to do things for Dylan.
Yes.
All right, this is what Dylan can do. It's like, hey, okay, we don't have to worry about Dylan anymore. He's out for the year. Now we can just focus on Latif and let's just let it ride.
I agree.
Yep.
Love you guys. Hey, love the show.
Thanks, BJ. Thank you.
Here's another interesting thought here with BJ brought up, because he's like, has it thrown into the wrench? Has there been a wrench thrown into Nebraska's plan? Right? You then go, whose plan? Nebraska's plan or Raiola's plan? I think that's
Raiola family.
The Raiola family plan.
Yes.
I think that's an interesting question to ask of has the injury affected how the Raiola's view where Dayton fits into things? And maybe has TJ Latif playing well and TJ Latif getting this excitement and TJ made them more privy to the fact of hey, it may be more difficult for Dayton to beat him out or to, progress better than him or to eventually be the successor to Dylan. I'm curious as to maybe them seeing has that, and that's just, I'm not saying it is. I'm just curious. That would be a question I would ask. Has this injury, just how you view where Dayton falls into Nebraska football, has that changed your view on that? Because there is excitement about TJ Latif. There is
but I do want to say this. I do want to say this. I said this right away after UCLA. Let's just give it 2 more games.
Yes, you're right.
2 more games. Let's enjoy for 2 more games. Let's see where this is. Okay? Because you're going to face Jim Knowles and Phil Parker.
Yeah, you're right.
If there is success, that answers any question. There's no more gray.
Sure.
It's pretty black and white on where you are moving forward. I don't know. I think, again, my initial reaction when this news drops at the top of the hour that Dayton Raiola has decommitted from the class of 26 is that this is a Dayton decision on looking at depth charts, and maybe somebody is giving him the opportunity to come in and compete right away.
I would be curious as to how quickly does he commit after to elsewhere, because it's not that this has been a secret. It's been a secret. TJ Latif has been stoked away, and we haven't heard of him. All of a sudden, he was this 2-star that came out of nowhere. The entire time, TJ Latif was a more highly regarded prospect than him.
Let's just, if there's no injury, the injury has really changed things. Because if there's no injury, Nebraska is looking at 2 straight years of Dylan, and the process continues of Dylan comes back, and then Latif would be, Latif probably then doesn't play, and they could still redshirt him.
Yeah.
Which
they still can.
They still can redshirt him.
Well, no, they can't, because he played the Akron game and the Houston Christian game, and then he played the UCLA game.
Oh, that's right. He'll play 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So the injury really kind of caught everybody off guard.
Big time.
Now that you have to do the math. Because you get now 3 games. And this is before the bowl game, because decisions are made before the bowl game.
Sure.
3 games of starting. We know what we have. Now we've seen it in action in actual Big Ten games. What do we do? Best case scenario is both guys come back and they battle it out, and then they're not together when you start the 27 season.
Well, and then, Gary, wouldn't there have
Worst case scenario, they're both gone.
Wouldn't there have been, though, heading into the 2027 season, TJ should be the guy, but there's this mystery with, Dayton's going to be behind him, and maybe we're going to track we would have called it a potential quarterback battle, right?
Yeah.
Between Dayton and TJ Latif if the injury never happened. Now, granted, you're right. I have to stop because now I'm getting Latif billed after the UCLA game. We still have to see
to be excited. Remember, he was really good in high school. Nebraska won a battle. So he is what they thought he was. He just is thrust in a little bit earlier, and you have to make a decision on his future earlier than you plan.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the injury. But there is more than enough to like about what Nebraska has in TJ Latif.
Without a doubt.
It's just, who is your roster built best for that helps you win football games at the University of Nebraska? Because you don't have to go all Shane Beamer and say, hey, this time next year, we're going to be in the playoff hunt. That will be expected next year. With Nebraska's roster, despite the schedule in the conference being more difficult, the expectation next year will be we are waking up on the Tuesday after, was it the third release?
Yes.
The third release of the rankings, and Nebraska is either in the bracket or they are close to the bracket and they control their own path.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it. It's just assumed. So whoever gives you that opportunity with the way you're building your roster as it currently is and what you're going to add, that answers your question. That's why they pay that guy $9 million. That's why they don't pay us $9 million. We sit behind a microphone and we get to speculate and all this kind of stuff. But the news of the morning, Dayton Raiola has decommitted from the class of 26.